What is going on, guys? World of YouTube, people, faces, not faces. All right, let's talk about something. Here's your warning. Get Good is not a series about how to get amazing in 10 seconds or 10 tips to make you really good. It's a series showing you the dedication that it takes to get good at a game. Up first is Apex Legends. Today we're doing the charge rifle. This is actually one of the shortest videos I've done yet, and you'll see why. All right, so up first is recoil control. This gun literally has no recoil. Moving on to tracking. All right, so here I'm working with a bunch of different scopes, trying to track moving targets and try to hit as much of a full clip as I can. I believe full clip was 90 damage. And so with this gun, it's weird because, as the name implies, it charges up and then it fires like a solid shot. So the bulk of the damage, even if you miss the first part of the charge, you want to hit the end blast, I guess you'll call it. You'll see it go beep. So it does, looks like 30 damage and then a solid 60 damage. So if you hit the full charge up, it only does 30. If you hit that last blast at the end, it does a full 60. And that's not including the headshot multiplier. So I think it's 1.75 for a headshot multiplier. So you do a little over 120, 130 damage. I tried some hip firing here. I'm again forcing myself to use the 1x holographic sight because I am garbage with this sight. And I'm actually getting a lot better. I'm glad to say that I have streamed Apex a couple of times, and I'm actually getting better with the guns that I was terrible with, guns that I've never used. So Get Good as a series is working. If you guys ever want to see, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/real_Sero, SERO. And you can hop in and see what all of this practice is actually accumulating to. I don't recommend using, at least for me, and I'll see if it gets different as I work with some of the other snipers. This is probably the only sniper that I would ever use a sniper scope with. I don't care for the sniper scopes in this game, but we'll see again once I work with some of the other sniper rifles. This gun, on the other hand, literally does not have bullet drop at all because it's a charge rifle. So it's a straight shot whether you're at 700 meters or at 100 meters. It's the same. It's gonna hit straight in that dot every time. So if you do want to pick up a 2x bruiser, a 1x hollow, or the 4 to 10 times sniper scope, or the 6x sniper scope, whatever sniper scope, it is literally going to hit center dot every time. And there's, like, as you can see here, when the blast goes off, there's a small kick up, but the gun resets back down to where it was. It doesn't make a huge difference there because if you're tracking somebody who you just shot, chances are they're going to jump or grapple or zip or try to get away in any way that they possibly can. So snipers, it's not really a big thing, I guess, with worrying about the recoil control on those. Whereas with a auto or semi-auto gun where you're constantly firing bullets off, it's going to be a little different. But as you can see here, I'm hitting that long range target for the full clip, which is the 90 damage on almost every shot. And then again here, I have my cousin sitting next to me. We're going to do a little bit of snapping. He's going to call out targets 1 through 6, and I'm just going to try and snap to him and hit hit the shot. I'm not trying super hard to do like full 90 damage on it. I just want to poke shots because this is, again, in a situation where you're being poked by multiple enemies, and you just need to let them know, hey, I see you, I can do damage to you, and keep them kind of at bay, or keep them second guessing aping you. Because let's face it, if you're getting aped with a sniper rifle out, chances are you're not going to do much. So it's just good to be able to be aiming in one direction and snap to another direction and actually hit your shots. Here I switched over to the 2-4. Again, I'm trying to hit as many different scopes, attachments, which the reason why this video is so short is the charge rifle doesn't really have a lot of attachments. It's got 1, 2, 3, I believe it's 7 or 8 different sights, and then 3 different stocks, which the stocks, the only thing that was really impact is how quickly you switch your weapons. So I tried to keep purple stocks on just so I can change through the weapons as I'm firing quickly here. It's not really, I'm not really trying to practice real life scenarios of switching weapons, the timing for that. I'm trying to fire as many bullets as humanly possible in the time span that I'm spending with these weapons. So it's easier for me to keep the quickest swap so that I can shoot, and get to the next weapon and fire more bullets. Again, this practice here gets you in a real world scenario, which it would in a real game, it wouldn't be like 1, 2 through 6. It would be, hey, guy northwest. Here I went and tried to do a little bit of the same thing I was doing with the Prowler and the L-Star. I only did it a couple of times because, one, the amount of bullets in the charge rifle is just not conducive to doing this, and 2, you can only, like, the way that it fires with the cooldown didn't allow for you to kind of not spam it, but fire it repeatedly really fast. So I went to a little bit of what I normally do when I warm up with a sniper, which is grapple and hit a slide and then try to snap in and hit targets. Did that a couple of times just to kind of get a feel for different movements, because I like to be mobile when I'm fighting, and I'm not necessarily going to be running around flying around with a sniper into people's faces. But if the scenario came up where I had to be grappling and someone just, you know, happened to pop up where I was grapple sliding away to, I could hit a quick snapshot on them and maybe put them down or get enough damage to get them running away from me. Because in that scenario when you're grappling like that, chances are you're trying to heal. Here we're going to jump into the gauntlet. I tried to keep this one relatively short as well. I think I only did 6 waves, just because it's not easy to keep this entertaining. So I tried to keep the video here to about 15 minutes. Sniping, you're really kind of, when you're sniping, you're trying to play corners, you're trying to stay back, you're not really trying to get in people's face. With most of the other weapons, you're trying to play aggressively, or if you're having to play aggressively, if you have a sniper out, chances are you have a secondary, and if you're playing aggressively and you get into someone's face, you're going to switch from that sniper. Now, exceptions being the longbow or the sentinel, because I've had a lot of times where I've been up in people's faces and was able to snap with the longbow or sentinel, and that's you know, 70 body shot. This is not so easy to do because it's not just firing a bullet. It's, as you can see, you have to beep, boom, beep, boom. By the time you charge up and do that 90 damage, they fried you already. It's not even worth, like, it's not quick enough to be worth being in somebody's face. So you'll see me here a lot, sitting back, practicing on hitting smaller targets that are moving was what I wanted to do with this version of the gauntlet, was kind of get a feel for what having to hit moving targets at that size, because I was doing tracking earlier on the bigger targets, but with the bigger targets, like I said, they're bigger. I don't even think the result is the same hitbox size as those big squares, so it's not close enough to a real life scenario, whereas this feels more close to a real life scenario with tinier targets running around, moving. Maybe they're sitting still for some of them. For the most part, it's you shoot them and they start to move and push you, and they kind of attack and get a little aggressive and what have you. Here I'm resetting after a wave, just running up to pop a Phoenix kit real quick and get ready to go back and do it again. If you guys want to follow along and do this gauntlet, if you feel like this might be something that you want to add into your warm-up, all you have to do is the Easter egg where when you spawn in as Pathfinder, you drop your P2020 and your light ammo, you go all the way to the far left tunnel if you're facing outward, the far left if you're facing the tunnels, it's the far right. Grapple up to the little ledge that's in the middle, crouch down and look straight at the ground and switch to the other ledge, and then you'll hear like a kerchunk. You can jump down and the bots will be moving. Once you kill all 3, it will respawn 3 more. And that just keeps going indefinitely until you undo the glitch, the Easter egg, by looking at the floor and changing legends again. It gives you different levels or different tiers of damage. They have the the white shields, the blue shields, and the purple shields. And then different tiers of weapons to fight against. So the blue carries the PK, the Peacekeeper. The whites carry the R301, and the purples have the L-Star. Unfortunately, though, the purples do only fire the L-Star in like a 3-bullet burst. So they like pew 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 pew. It doesn't make it as real world scenario as somebody coming at you with the L-Star, but from my experience, apart from like high tier players, nobody really knows how to use the L-Star, which is crazy because after I've done the episode with Get Good on the L-Star, that gun is actually so slept on. When you get that recoil control down on that gun, that thing destroys. And if you work the recoil control in tandem with the overheating control, that gun fires bullets indefinitely without a reload animation. It's crazy. One of the things I noticed with this gun, though, I will say, because I just mentioned recoil control, is if you hip fire it within the crosshair, the laser moves like diagonally top left, I can't even speak, diagonally top right to diagonally bottom left, and it kind of zigzags back and forth between those 2 points. And so if you're hip firing it, you better be like coming up behind somebody at close range and use it for hip fire only at that. And I wouldn't even really recommend that because I still was having trouble hitting the full 90 with that weird zigzag. So it's always best to just ADS because it doesn't actually move the laser in any direction whatsoever. It just is a straight laser. Again, I am forcing myself to use the 1x hollow, because it is not a weapon, not a sight that I'm good with on any weapon. So I'm trying to force myself in the prospect of get good with that sight, and it's actually worked because I've picked it up in a couple of games that I streamed the other day and used it. And I'm getting myself to not be hesitant to pick up whatever gun I find. I found myself actually picking up a P2020 and using it, and a Mozambique and using it, and not necessarily being afraid to actually use those guns anymore. And that's kind of the point of this series, is to get confident in everything, because confidence is key. When you're confident with something, you're more likely to use it, and when you use it more, the more you use it, the better you get at it. So that's this series. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free again to jump into my Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'll be streaming Apex Legends. And right now I'm actually streaming Final Fantasy 7 as well. But feel free to hop in, say what's up. Tell me you saw the video, you got questions, whatever. Feel free to ask. I have no problem answering them, telling you about what's going on with this. Also, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, please do remember to give it a thumbs up, smash the like button, subscribe, you know, all that meta YouTube stuff that everybody tells you to do, because it really does help YouTube send these videos out to more people and get them seen, and help support me as a content creator to grow. So I would really appreciate that. I actually did not die, and I'll go over the statistics again right here at the end, but I actually didn't die at all. So here I fired 768 bullets. I spent about 35 minutes, which is the shortest I've spent on any of the series so far. I killed 54 bots, and I died 0 times. Again, if you guys like it, please smash the thumbs up. Tell them you liked it. If you like the content, please subscribe and ring the notification bell so you know whenever I post new content.